At the beginning of the video, I mentioned how if you add vegetables to your perfect pressure cooker rice, you might get kind of a mess. Let me explain why. That's because vegetables are 80 to 90% water. This bell pepper is 92% water. These carrots, 89. So let's say you add an 8-ounce bell pepper to a recipe. That's a whole extra cup of water to your perfectly measured rice and cooking liquid. So I figured out a way around this. What I do, I actually measure the vegetable as the cooking liquid. So I add the chopped or grated vegetable to my liquid measuring cup. So let's say we're going to make 2 cups of rice and I need 3 cups of liquid. Well, first I add my chopped and grated veggies and then I measure the cooking liquid. All the way up, I need 3 cups, all the way up to 3 cups. Most vegetables are 80 to 95% water. For example, tomatoes are 95%, mushrooms 89%. While this is usually not very important in conventional cooking, it can have a big effect when pressure cooking. That's because if you add a half-pound pepper to your recipe, that's going to add about an extra cup of liquid. So for recipes where the liquid ratio is important, like rice and grains, chop the veggies and just add them into the container that you're using to measure the cooking liquid. There are a few exceptions to this rule. When you saute a vegetable, you're actually cooking off its water. The volume will go down quite a bit. So if you saute a vegetable before pressure cooking, such as an onion before making risotto, its liquid won't count. Although potatoes are 75% water, their starch will quickly thicken it, so it will not disturb the liquid ratio. And lastly, frozen peas don't count either. They've been parboiled and are already pretty dry, so if using a modest amount of peas, they won't upset the liquid ratio. And that's it. Let me show you how it works in the next recipe. Okay, we start this next recipe by preheating the cooker. Press the brown or saute button. If your cooker doesn't have this setting, you can actually punch in any pressure cooking program. The goal is to turn on the heating element to heat the base. While we're waiting, it's a good time to gather the ingredients and prep the vegetables. The onion. When we saute, it will evaporate most of its liquid, so it won't disrupt the liquid to rice ratio for this recipe. While that's going, we can measure the basmati rice. That's 2 cups. Measure the cooking liquid. Remember that bell pepper? Well, that's going straight into the cup where I'm measuring the cooking liquid. And now we add the carrots as well. Let's add the water until we get to the right amount of cooking liquid that is appropriate for the kind of rice I'm using. 3 cups. In goes the rice, the peas, they don't count, and salt, and we mix everything together. Add the cooking liquid with other veggies and mix well. Close the lid, set the valve for pressure cooking, and punch in the cooking time according to the type of rice you're using.
I'm using basmati long grain rice, so that's 3 minutes at high pressure. Now we're going to open the cooker using a 10-minute natural release. When pressure cooking is finished, turn off the pressure cooker and don't do anything else. Just wait 10 minutes. Then release any remaining pressure from the cooker through the valve. Fluff the rice with a fork and serve. Basmati confetti rice. Enjoy!